People will save you if you let them. I need you to stop telling yourself and others that you have to save yourself and that no one will come to your help. Let me tell you that it's nothing more than a self-fulfilling prophecy that will have you hating the world, that will have you mistrustful, that will have you just feel lonely all the time, like you're an alien in this vast world that is for you to explore, but you already decided that there's nothing out there for you. And this is coming from someone that literally, this was my whole life for a plethora of reasons. But I do think sometimes this also originates from like certain family structures where people sometimes tell you that there's like, you don't have friends outside your family are the people that you need to trust, and you know, like that's all you can hope for in this life, and you should never open up to anyone else about anything really substantial. So growing up, I really had that in me. Like it really just was something that was just true. I didn't really question it. I mean, I was young, so that's how I lived my life. I would genuinely not tell people anything about myself, like things I would be going through. I would just keep everything to pretty much like a surface level. And guess what came out of it? Surface level relationships, at least from my end, because I was still very good at like being like holding space for others and like being open and listening to others. But me, within me, and how I would view myself in relation to others, but also just for myself, I felt like an alien because wherever I would go, I would never bring myself. Because to me, there was no point in doing that, because the things that I really needed to talk about, well, I was under the impression that no one would be able to do anything about it. Or, I mean, even if they were able to do something about it, their intentions are questionable. Like that was always in the forefront of my mind. Like people either like have questionable intentions, or they don't care enough, or you know, they will just leave you hanging when you most need them. Like those were the things that were already in my brain. So every interaction or like every chance at like a deeper connection was tainted by that preconception of what it was going to be. And the issue with that is if that's already your preconception, first of all, obviously it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if you don't bring yourself with troubles, with problems, and with just things that weigh heavy on you, things are going to stay obviously surface level, because that's all you're giving on your end. But then also, even because I think whenever you go into any sort of relationships, there will, even if you try to shield yourself as best as you can, there will be moments where there's still always room for disappointment. Regardless, there's always room for disappointment in any interaction that you enter, right? So when people do end up disappointing you, or when people do end up kind of leaving you hanging, because that happens sometimes, it isn't just exactly that, like something that happens sometimes, but it becomes this like almost like conspiracy thing. Like it just becomes like a true, it becomes the truth. It becomes the truth that your beliefs have been confirmed, and that is true. Like you start looking for whatever preconception that you have in your mind, you start looking for proof. In general, I feel like whatever you believe, that's why people say like your thoughts control kind of your reality, or not control, but it becomes the perspective you see your world from. It's because whatever you believe in, you will look for proof in that in the real world. So even if other things happen, that's not really what you're following. Your lens is not geared towards like good things happening to you, positive things happening to you, or like maybe proof that you can trust people. Your preconception is looking for confirmation. You're walking through the world with this belief. So once something like that happens, no matter how small, even if you were shielding yourself the whole time and you didn't come to them with something big, the moment they disappoint you, you become more and more and more closed off, more and more and more callous, and it will just keep you in this cycle of being closed off and not giving anyone a chance, and believing that the only one that's going to be there for you at the end of the day is yourself. Now, obviously, a lot of my videos, I feel like no matter what topic I talk about, it's a lot about responsibility and being accountable for yourself, and you literally being the co-creator in your life. Like you need to be really aware of the power that you have and exercising that power. And that is true, but that is not true by artificially keeping everything else outside of yourself and only focusing on yourself. You and the power that you have over your life, that's just there. That's a given. It's your choice whether you want to exercise that power or not. But that is there. You do not have to isolate yourself to make that true. And I think that's why it rings so true initially to a lot of people when people are like, no one will come to save yourself. And when people then follow up by being like, yeah, that's why I don't really trust people, I keep to myself, it's because somehow you believe that when you do that, you're breeding this like confidence within yourself. Like if I don't put any confidence in others, like if I don't put any trust into others, it will somehow grow the trust within me because I'm literally isolating myself. So all I will have is me. And that means that yes, I can only rely on myself. But your power to rely on yourself and your ability to save yourself is not dependent on how little you trust others to also be able to do that for you. You don't become more accountable by your life by not letting others help you. You don't become a more capable person of lifting yourself up by not letting others lift you up sometimes too. You don't become a more supportive person of yourself if you don't allow any other people to support you. All that's gonna happen if you follow that mentality of like, no one's gonna save me, so I'm not even gonna try to reach out to anyone or even ask for help ever because no one's coming anyways. All you're gonna do is breed mistrust, bitterness, because what does that tell you about just people in the world? Like, is everyone just out there to get you? Is everyone just careless? If that's the truth, what about you? Are you the exception? Like, are you the only person that's different and everyone else just isn't? Like, it's a very distorted way of looking at the world. The truth is, people are capable of everything. The same way you're capable of everything. You're gonna run into people that will do anything and everything for you, that will have your best interest at heart. And you might also run into people that have bad intentions. You might run into people that have good intention, but exercise it in a way that, you know, the outcome is still bad for you and that might still breed disappointment. There's always room for disappointment no matter what you do. But the one thing that you don't want to do is disappoint yourself by adapting this worldview that you're just this solitary being that no one else has even a chance of understanding. And you know what's gonna happen when someone does end up disappointing you and they do end up like not showing up in a way that you needed them to at any given point? Nothing happens. Nothing happens. You will still be able to rely on yourself regardless. Like, relying on someone else doesn't mean that you are incapable of helping yourself. You're gonna move on, you're gonna look at the situation with nuance and realize that this was one person, not even one person, one situation that didn't end up going the way that you wanted them to. It wasn't until way, way later that I realized that the reason why I felt like such an alien in a lot of my interactions and why I never felt connected with someone is because I was approaching people as just people that will let me down. How can you genuinely like start liking someone and like start trusting them and like start like building something with them, like building like a space with them, if in the back of your mind that's your belief? Like, you just think that they're unreliable people and they won't help you ever. Like, what kind of image is that to have of other people? And again, what does that tell you about yourself and where you stand in the world? Again, I'm not going to tell you that no one is ever going to hurt you and that people will always come running whenever you need them. Human relationships are complicated. You're complicated. I'm complicated. Like, but this is the nature of life. Like, life is just constant attempts at connection and like expanding our space, and that comes with a lot of trial and error. As long as you stay aware of who you are and you continue to be aware of the control that you have in your life and the control that you don't have in your life, try to take life in a more lighthearted manner. That's like really, truly a heartfelt advice I can give you. Lightheartedness will not make the pain go away, but it will give so much more room for just life and connection and love to develop, instead of you trying to control every single aspect and constantly being afraid. Because that's one thing that's also so prevalent in this thinking, is at the end of the day you're just so afraid of being hurt, of your expectations not being met. But there's nothing to be afraid of. It's all just experience. Expectations being met or not met, sure, one is more pleasant than the other. Like, your expectations being met is nicer than them not being met. But the more you try to like control this outcome, and the more you try to hold on to how things are supposed to be, the harder life will be on you. It will not be easier on you. It will be harder on you. Giving people a chance to truly love you and for you to love them in whatever way means giving them a chance to hurt you. That's just the price that you pay, but the outcome is so much better than constantly keeping yourself in a bubble of mistrust and bitterness and loneliness and isolation. I promise you, you're doing the harder thing right now if that is your mentality and you're going through life kind of in an artificially isolated way because you're trying to protect yourself. That is harder and more painful than giving people a chance to be there for you and truly connect with you. When you make the change, it's extremely hard. I've been there, trust me, because it feels so foreign and just wrong, and you just feel like so exposed because this was just something that you were protecting this whole time, and all of a sudden like you open yourself up to it. It feels very difficult, but trust me, it is the easier thing to do in the long run. Simply because that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to connect with people. We're not meant to stay isolated. We're meant to rely on each other. We're meant to have community. Just take a chance and be more open and give people the chance to save you. Let them try. And if it doesn't work out, you'll try again. They'll try again. And no matter what happens, you still have yourself to rely on. This is a hard topic, and I know it's difficult for people, especially if you've been disappointed before. Like, I totally get it. Like, this kind of behavior comes from somewhere. But I truly believe this whole idea of like extreme individualism and only having yourself, it's not going to get us anywhere. There's a reason people are lonelier than ever before. There's a reason that studies show over and over again that human connection and relationships are the #1 factor when it comes to longevity. And you know, that's also the point of this channel, right? Is to build a community of people, a community, not individualists, of like-minded people, people that can look at each other and see that like we're dealing with the same things. Like, I'm not as alone with my thoughts as I thought I was, and there are people that do understand me. So take care, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. Dragged by my feet and pulled up by the moonlight, lungs filled with whole pants caught up in a riptide. No, no, don't you know?